Many moons ago, destruction befell Earth as humans cared for nothing else but themselves. The river and sea became polluted. Mankind knew no bound as they spread destruction anywhere they go. Oshun, being the deity of sweet water, became furious and decided to meet with other deities.
We cannot take this anymore. This set of humans are destructive. My water source is polluted. I also fear for my children. They keep choking on plastics the humans dump in the ocean.
Oshu and Yemoja shared their grievance. Shango and Ogun gave their opinion too. They have never seen so much hate and destruction within the human race. Orunmila and Obatala remained quiet and thoughtful. Oloku sat, watching the mad chaos. His kingdom was too deep and impossible for human reach. Any human who tries to venture close meets with death. He had none of the deities' problem, but he was empathic. Eshu, who is always late, arrived at this stage, laughing.
I told you, Obatala's creation will constitute havoc eventually. I suggest Oko stabs the earth of farm produce. If they find nothing to eat, they will retrace their step.
Obatala objects.
If they find nothing to eat on land, they will go to the sea to hunt. Yemoja Kingdom will be at risk. I suggest we break them completely until they turn to us for help. Water. Mankind cannot survive without water. When the earth and the water source dries up, that will be a turning point.
Orunmila interrupts. The deities agreed on this, and Oshu, being the goddess of sweet waters, buried her waters deep in the ground and way behind the clouds. Yemoja blessed one of her devotees with a child, one whose veins flows with the deity's blood. Soon, the ground dried up, causing crops to wither and plagues to strike. The drought continued for decades, with mankind too confused to go for war. They turned to their ancient tradition, calling upon the deities for help. But the deities have turned their back on mankind. Nike, who is now 16 years old, possessed the ability to communicate with the dead. Since she was 6, she always had recurring dreams of her traveling between realms. She wakes up on her birthday with a new feeling. She rushes to her mom.
Mama, it's time.
Her parents has always knew this day will come because Nika has always been special. Her dreams were vision of reality. Anything she say has always come to pass. Her father nods in agreement, blessing her with some carrots, while her mother pulls her into her embrace. Everything that you need is in the bag. If you have doubt, know that we will be here. Nike's mother says as she hands her daughter a bag. Nike's parents have suffered their fair share of fate. 5 children born mysteriously dies before they clocked 3. They had cried for days to Yemoja to weep the shame and bless them with a child that would live. They promised to let the child seek his or her own path and to never interfere in destiny. 10 months later, they bore Nike. On the 12th month, the drought hit their land. This made Nike special to them. Nike bids her parents goodbye as she venture into a mystical forest. She reaches Oshun's sacred grove, buried a river stone beneath it, requesting for guidance. Oshu, impressed by her devotion, granted her plea.
You are born to maintain balance between worlds. You must find a human who will give their life for a positive change and to save your village from destruction.
Nike's heart sinks at the weight of this request. However, driven by her love for her village and desire to end their suffering, she accepted Oshun's task, but vowed to find an alternative solution. In her desire to seek wisdom, she encounters Orunmila, who asks for similar sacrifice to unify mankind with nature. Eventually, Nike discovers an ancient prophecy hidden within Obatala's sacred text, a prophecy that foretold the merging of human compassion with divine magic as the key to restoring balance. With the combined help of deities and humans, Nike devised a plan that involved watering the crops with tears of empathy instead of sacrificing a life. She returned home to share her findings with the villagers. On the next sunrise, they organized a beautiful ceremony attended by all. As if touched by divine intervention, rain clouds gathered overhead, showering the land with much needed nourishment. The crops flourished, and the people rejoiced in their newfound abundance. In gratitude, the deities blessed Nike Ninage to be the bridge between worlds, with mankind blessing her with the fruits of their labor. The story of Nike was told from one generation to the other as a means to remind humankind to cherish nature and embrace compassion.